Hi friends. So let's get started. As you see on my AWS console, I just have only one instance as of now, and this was created on 9th September. I'm going to add, so definitely I can add another one over here. So I am in North Virginia region, one instance. Now let's go back to our Visual Studio Code editor. If you see here, I am inside the folder AC Kinetic BGW05, and in this I have just one file which is main.tf, and this is going to be my script file. So if you see here in this main.tf file, I have written down what all resources I need to create. I have made use of data and some dependencies in order to make the sequencing proper so that it should not give any error. What you see on the first line in the stanza is I'm going to create an instance with the name kinetic bgw05. So just with one command, before I start with the command, what I'd also like to do is start with instead of tracking the time manually, what I'll do is I'll use a system to capture it. So I'm going to write it into the variable output of date. Okay, so I'm going to capture it in this one. Now I'm going to start my deployment. Now this alias deploy is going to run another five commands inside it, and you would notice that it will go into those five stages. First it will initialize, then it will validate my code in the file which I have written. Then it will do planning. In planning stage, you should see a plus sign if a component or resource is getting added. And the fourth item will be it will start deploying. And once deployment is completed, then it will list on all my resources which has been created. So all that is a part of my deploy alias. And what you notice onto the left side, there is a folder which has been created. This is going to be a hidden folder .terraform, and in that you will have a lot of plugins inside it. So you can see licenses, few AWS plugins, registries. Okay, so it is working. And if you are expecting, so plus sign means the components are getting added. Minus, mostly with red, it shows resources or the components are getting deleted. And if you see tilde, and then that component is getting changed. So in this, what you see here, the first is Terraform has been successfully initialized. Rest all the messages are in green, so which is a good sign. Where soon after this, it should validate our code after initialization. Let's expect to see that. And it did the validation. The configuration is valid, so that the code which we have written down here, that seems to be valid. After this, it will do planning. And as you see here onto the left side of this folder, the browser, it has added a new file called terraform.tfstate. Now this is the most important file for Terraform. This contains the state of all the resources which has been added. So if you're building a software solution, building a setup, all the components which you add, it gets recorded in this file. Okay, so this is the planning phase. You would have noticed that we are trying to add a user inside Amazon Connect. I'm not going to do manually. It will be all be done through the script. And at this point of time, since it is in planning phase, many of the components, many of its attribute like ARN, directory user ID, all this will be known only after it is applied. And what is known at this point of time is its username and the password. So similarly, there will be many other parameters which we are creating using this, like agent one, And again, many other attributes are not known at this point of time. What is known is only the name and the password. So we'll give this uh, Terraform compiler to run this. I have also I'm trying to add few queues. Okay, then so this is the instance. So as of now, you see ARN is not known, ID is not known. Okay, so many things are not known at this point of time. What we have passed through the parameter is it should be connect manage. As you see here on this on the top of the screen, the identity management is the parameter which we have defined, and that is what it has recognized, that it will be connect managed. Then inbound calling, outbound calling is enabled. So that's what you see here. Inbound true, and multi-party is false by default. Outbound is true. So what are the parameter we define? That is noted down here. Rest of the parameter which are default values, it does take the settings. Okay, and what we see here, the AWS Connect instance has started creating. So my instance name, the alias is going to be Kinetic BG005. Okay, this is the system name is AC, and by this time it is 10 second, 20 second. Okay, so we have got 1 minute elapsed already. So we'll give it few seconds more, and looks like my script is completed, and it is running all other parameters. What we see here is we have added 5 resources. We have not changed anything, uh, and we have not destroyed anything. Change will be signified by tilde. Destroyed will be signified by minus, mostly in red in color. Okay, so our script is about to get completed. And here we go. So we can see all my supervisor ID, which initially its attributes were not known. Now all those values have been identified. Similarly, you go for agent one, which we created inside the AWS instance, Connect instance. All its attributes are known. So, and how about the AWS Connect instance? This is admin, which I have created using a script. Then queue, which has been created, that is also created. Fine. And here we go about the AWS instance. So instance alias is Kinetic BGW05, while the system name is AC Kinetic BGW05. So it has AC prefix over here. Then all its attributes are identified by this time. So it has captured all this information. This will be utilized when we are doing some when we are calling API. So and this is for the uniqueness of those attributes. Now what we do is we'll stop the timer so as to know how much time did it took actually. So let me do that. Have so in the end time is we are capturing in end underscore time. Then we are calculating elapsed time is equal to end time minus start time, and then we'll echo the elapsed time. So the difference of the timestamp, and what we see is 471 second. So less than 8 minute, my whole infrastructure is ready by this. So this is as per the command. Let's go back to our AWS console and see if we have really our instance ready or not. And what we see here is yes, we have a instance whose alias name is Kinetic BGW05. It does not have AC in prefix because that was a system name. Okay. And what we see here is customer profiles. I know it will not be enabled by default. Mm, Usually, when you do it through GUI, there is a checkbox which will enable it. Mm, But even if you haven't enabled it, you can go ahead and just activate. You can enable the customer profile by creating a domain. As I expected, customer profile domain is not enabled by default. However, when you create it manually, um, there is a checkbox which will mostly it will be checked. So by the time you create it, it is already activated. So fine, we go back to our instance. I would like to browse it. We expect to see all those user ID what we have created. We created users like agent one, supervisor. Let's have a look at that. And we can see that there are few agents which we have created. And you would also notice that we created supervisor with security profile as admin, while we created agent one with security profile as agent. Then we also created a queue. So if you see, I created another separate queue through the script, and task queue is there with the description, and it is attached to the basic hour of operation, the default hour of operation timing. And then I also would like to verify the flows. All the default flows should be there, and we can see that all the flows are there. Okay, so we'll see sample recording behavior. Fine. So this has finally loaded, and I can see all my contact flow has been loaded properly. So within 471 seconds, we are able to create our Amazon Connect instance using a script. Thank you.